Hey, what's up guys? It's Marques Brownlee. You might know me as Mkbhd, and this is the Studio Tour 5.0 with Sam Sheffer.
Okay, Marques, where do we start?
My desk?
Yeah,
That's probably the go-to. Okay, so it's the same iMac Pro. It's the same 18-core, 4 terabyte, 128 gigs of RAM. It's still got the 80 terabyte Pegasus over here. The same Yamaha Studio monitors I've had since college. Very reliable.
And this is where you work on. This is where you edit your 8K videos.
Yeah, pretty much no complaints as far as the tech that I've used a long time here goes. The headphones I've had for a bit, the Apollo Twin. This is the Mark II, but it's very similar to the Mark I. Red mouse pad. Logitech MX Master 2S is the mouse of choice. So this is where I spend a lot of time. This is where I edit. It's a sit-stand desk. I probably spend 70% of my time standing, 30% sitting, and that's when I'm editing. So that's how much time I spend editing. And when I am sitting, this is a Herman Miller Mkbhd that I've also had since college. People think you're crazy to spend $1,000 on a chair, but if you're gonna sit for this many hours, you might as well get a chair you're comfortable with, save your back a few years. So Herman Miller Mkbhd sitting here. Some phones that I'm using not all of them at once, but at the moment. So you've probably seen the Galaxy S10 review. That's new since last time. That's a Shorty Award Creator of the Decade trophy.
Clap, clap,
if you voted,
clap, clap,
or
clap.
if you had something to do with that, thank you. A little color board here, and then that's sort of the desk setup, the perfectly aligned little.
Yeah, commenters love to
things
get you
back
on
there.
that.
Yeah, no, they're perfect. They're perfect. And there's also, of course, always foam everywhere. There's all sorts of noise isolation stuff we do to make videos sound better, especially when we're in here, or just to not have echoes. This is the gear closet, things we shoot videos with, things we shoot videos of. That part hasn't changed. What might have changed since last time is the cameras we have in here. We still have DSMC2 red cameras, monster sensor in this one, monster sensor in that one. It's nice to have matching AB cameras, which is super fun. And there's a couple other cameras in here. If you want to name them all, there's the Raven, there's the 1DX Mark II, Sony a6500, Sony a7R3, Canon C200, Canon C100, and some Canon glass. All of it is Canon mount stuff. So that's what's happening in here. Very neatly organized. Should I open it to prove it?
Yeah?
Yeah. There you get, this is the audio drawer. So this is lav mics. This is the one Elon wore. This is the one Bill Gates wore. No big deal.
No big deal.
Small things. A lot of, it's amazing how much stuff in here is matte black, and I didn't even realize it, but a lot of camera plates, camera accessories, things that aren't currently attached to the camera, but could be at any moment. Batteries, etc. That's all in here. So this is just video gear and things we shoot all the time. Things we shoot videos of, you've probably seen this, the infamous phone drawer and its organization prowess. I think it looks pretty good, if you ask me. Some other phone stuff, some docks, accessories, things that have the potential to be a video subject in the near future.
Do you keep the boxes of your phones?
I do. Anytime I buy a phone or anytime I get a box with it, I'll keep it around so we can have all the accessories and know what comes with it. So this is the S10 box, fully recycled boxes this year, and the S10e, of course. Yeah, so I got a lot of boxes in here.
And do you keep the boxes of your shoes?
I don't. I get my shoes, I wear them, and then I donate them, so I don't really keep the boxes for them very long, but I got a good amount of boxes shipped to me in my time. Coat rack, Andy's desk, wallpaper TV. This is the part where the UPS guy walks in with like 6 boxes and dumps them all right here. This is where he dumps them. So, I don't know, shipping desk, or whatever you want to call it. We kind of messed around with some furniture because we had these 2 carts. I got 2 because I really, really liked the first one, and then it became obvious that we didn't need to because we don't roll that much stuff back and forth between the other spaces, so just kind of permanently docked here. It has this sort of a half-flat tire, so this is the designated printer holder. We'll fill up the tire and use it again another time, but...
How often are you printing?
Not much. I mean, it's just shipping labels, basically. Snacks. Do I even have to say why we have snacks?
Where are the Cheerios?
The Cheerios are somewhere
just
else
making sure they're in
the
here.
studio. Oh, they're never going to leave here. That's the thing. Here's a lot of grip stuff. If you've ever been to a video studio, it's usually more organized than this, but we don't have enough grip stuff to have like a C-stand section and a light section. So we just kind of put it all here when it's not being used. New favorite light. I mean, it's not new, but this is the SkyPanel S60C. So it's RGB, but basically this huge softbox on it has turned it into an incredible portrait video light. Anytime you see A-roll with that smooth fall off, it's this light usually. It used to be these apertures, which are still fantastic, but I use them a little bit more as fill lights now. So fun detail. Here's the car we actually roll back and forth with some top-down stuff with the fun little tube lights that we started using a little more because I think they're amazing.
Oh, you put those in the back of your videos, right?
Pretty often, yeah. I haven't actually used them to light me yet, but they're great prop lights and practicals. Boosted. You ever heard of boosted boards? Boosted boards are pretty cool.
My audience has.
Yeah. The Smartphone Award trophies we've done for the last 2 years. So we have the unclaimed trophies from year 2. This one's actually kind of a funny story. This is the Best Battery Life Award for the red hydrogen. But you'll notice this past year, they did not win the Best Battery Life. The last phone I tested of the year, after I got the trophies made, the Mate 20 Pro actually beat out the red hydrogen. So we had another trophy made for the new winner, and the red never won their Best Battery Life trophy. What they did win instead was the Bust of the Year. They did not claim it. And Apple, of course, has never asked for their trophies, so we just kind of have those here.
Apple doesn't need trophies.
They don't really need their hardware. More video gear. This isn't really new at all, but in case you forgot from the last video, here's a beautifully organized drones and DJI section. And a bunch more boxes, in case you're wondering if we keep boxes.
Whoa.
Electronics come with boxes. So here's some electronics boxes, tripod stuff, and flags. The Dream Desk is still here. A lot of people have asked me if I've ever used the Boring Company flamethrower. I've never actually used one. I own one. I never bought the propane for it, but I've fired an actual flamethrower, and it's way more fun. So I'm not even going to bother with that one. I think it's a beautiful prop. Right? It's a great prop, and it's a good conversation piece. So we have it in the background once in a while. But the Dream Desk's still here. Some pillows and a high-tech couch. That's in air quotes. Also, you know what this is? This is an air humidifier, because in the winter, if you walk around enough on the carpet in here and then touch something metal, you will hear yourself get shocked. It's that loud. So we're trying to make that less of a thing. It seems to be working.
Is it a painful shock or it's like a static shock?
You're
not
both.
getting really?
No, you feel it. I'll walk from here over to my desk and pick up an SSD, and I'll drop it because I shock myself. Wow. But it's only in the winter, and it's very specifically when the air is dry. So trying the humidifier out. PS4, Rocket League, 2K, wallpaper TV. You already know.
That's the bigger wallpaper TV.
That is a 77-inch W8.
You used to have the smaller one over here, right?
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's changed since last time. So that's moved over to the entryway over there, and then we replaced it with the larger one here. Whole crew can game here when we're rendering videos or waiting for something to happen. We'll hook up the games and give it a spin. This is probably the messiest part of the room right now. This kind of turned into a beta test for a podcast, but also a live stream set. So the main gear PC here powers a live stream, high resolution stuff coming from C200, Sigma 18 to 35, and it's on one of my favorite tripods and video heads right now that we'll talk more about in a second. But this is a sort of a live stream setup we made. Rode Procaster microphones, and then just a whole bunch of mess behind you and around you. You can probably see it, but that's what this area has turned into, at least lately. So that's a look at the working studio. Come around here to the front of the main gear, where you'll see audio levels are still live because we don't turn these things off, but that's a little mixer for the live stream stuff and eventually for a podcast.
So this is always ready to go. It seems like you just sit here, everything's already on, you just kind of hit record.
Yeah, if you guys have seen the last live stream, which was counting down to 8 million.
Oh yeah.
We're kind of doing this extrapolation of when's it going to happen so we can go to a live stream. And it was right after the Galaxy S10 video went live, and it sort of spiked real hard. So suddenly it's we got to get into the studio right now. We got in. By the time we started the live stream, we were 150 away. So we got it up and running quick. So it just kind of sits here ready to go.
So next milestone, 9 mil, you'll do another live stream?
I think that's the plan. And we'll be ready to go. A little jib action. You want to hear something horrible?
Yes. Oh!
That's just because I have it locked. I do that all the time and it annoys everyone.
I thought you were going to tell me a story about how someone got hurt. You meant literally hear something
literally
horrible.
A terrible sound. That's Brandon's desk, iMac Pro, editor. He's hooked up to the Jellyfish. Talk about the Jellyfish in a second. This is Vin's desk, editor, also hooked up to the Jellyfish. And this is the Jellyfish. This is it's literally just a live server. It's a server that everyone's connected to, including me, where if I start a Final Cut Pro project, I can close Final Cut, open it up on another computer, and pick up where we left off. So that's the kind of thing that this makes possible. It happens to be 80 terabytes right now. It's in RAID. This became a sort of import machine. So this Mac Mini here, anytime we have footage we've just shot, dump it here. It goes on to the Jellyfish. Everything gets dumped into one folder, then we start the edit. So this is that sort of section, what it's turned into.
So this is a new workflow then, since I've last been here.
This is a new workflow. This is team video production at its finest.
So no matter what you shoot, gets dumped here first to start.
Yeah. And even if I have another computer, like I have the reader over here right now, I'll dump it here and it'll end up on the Jellyfish. So anyone who has a reader, any new media, if you want to use the Mac Mini or someone else, just put it here so we don't accidentally format it or delete something. And then we go from there. 5K ultra wide. Doesn't work very well with the Mac Mini on standby mode. Sometimes it freaks out and it won't wake up. So I don't recommend the 5K if you have a Mac Mini, but that's what we're using right now. So that's just over here. And then a little vocal booth setup. Very homemade, but that's just kind of what works in here, and that's what I've had since 2015, or wherever.
And that's the same microphone you use to do all your videos?
That is the one. That is the Sennheiser MKH416 that I have a pair of because sometimes you do interview stuff and you need a pair of them.
And then you'll bring this little unit out to kind of wherever in the room and set it
Yeah,
down.
absolutely. So this thing moves all around.
Oh,
so
wow.
I have this little stand here, which has a platform on it that I have the 633 mixer on. Drop it down on here, set it up. If I'm making a video, I'll literally just roll this out in front of me. This is the audio setup. It'll usually be hidden out of frame.
And it's like
that.
right out of frame.
Right out of frame.
Right?
If I poke it up in there, you'll see it in the viewfinder, but I get it right out of frame. Clap, clap, and it sounds great. So this thing moves around anywhere, but if I ever need to do some pickups or some extra audio, right over here. Yep.
Ideally, whenever you record VO, you have this all around you.
Ideally. That's kind of what we've tried to make, but you can't always have a great audio situation.
So this is Studio A.
Studio A, yeah.
Is there more?
Which implies that there are, of course, other letters. So is Studio B and C. I guess you want to go see those, huh? All right, welcome to Studio B. Now, Marques, why would you need a second space if you just had all that space for the first stuff? This is why you need a little extra space. I'll introduce her as Mia. This is the cinema robot. So this whole space is just kind of dedicated to more controlled environment sets. First spot had a whole lot of natural light, a lot of scenes, different looks you've seen. This is not a space you see very often in videos, but a lot of shots from videos happen here. So the robot here, it's an Epic W. It's a Tokina 100mm macro, but we also have mapped a Sigma 18 to 35. And this whole setup all kind of comes together and we'll build light and stage around this for the robot shots. But we have the power supply that goes with it, the monitor for everything, checking focus, SDI into here. This is the iMac that runs Windows, that has the software that talks to the robot. So that's this whole kind of setup here. And also if you look at the base pedestal down here, it's got our logo in it. So that's a pretty sweet touch. Thanks, MP. So if you move on, we've got the Tesla surfboard. Definitely a pretty sweet looking red and black object I couldn't resist getting. And if we move on to over here, this second half of the room is what I would call the top-down set. Used to do top-down sets in A. On the Dream Desk, actually, we would build the top-down set with the flags and the lights every time we wanted to do top-downs. And that just got really annoying to have to build that up and tear that down every time we wanted to use it. So we have a dedicated top-down area. So what that looks like is some lights back here. Fire that up. That goes all the way wide. It's got diffusion coming in through here, flags from the top, the jib, camera goes on here, points straight down. Already pre-made. You have all kinds of props, a whole shelf behind you with all more props and things like that. But essentially we make those top-down sets by hand in this dedicated area.
Thumbnails
and then you see
also?
Thumbnails sometimes, yeah, if it's a top-down thumbnail. And then you have all these different surfaces They might look familiar as dbrand skins, but on much larger surface areas. So things like this one's, I think, called Black Marble. Like, you get a very different look. If it's just a small cutout on a phone, you might not see all that like vein action happening through here, but on a much larger surface, that looks pretty dope. So we've got a bunch of different textures and looks for these, and sometimes we use like the realistic looking ones for like a set that looks like a countertop. Sometimes we use a colorful one for a more stylish look. So that's the second half of this. We got a monitor here for seeing exposure and framing and focus. I'm talking too much, but that's the top-down set. That's what we use this room for.
It's almost as if you make videos for a living.
It's kind of like that, isn't it? All right, so this is Studio C. Warning, it's very messy in here. And that's because this is a dedicated space for building out sets for videos. So whether it's a scene or an A-roll set or a talking head, or whatever you want to call it, something like that, that gets built, purpose-built every single time we make a new one in here. So we don't have like a bunch of set-up staged looks. Every set has a bunch of little things in the background you might notice, a bunch of more important thematic things happening. All of those get built for the video. So that's why it's basically, if I walk you around here, you're just gonna see a bunch of props. A TV on the ground, unplugged, it's a prop. A blue couch, sort of half disassembled with the pillows strewn, it's a prop. 2 carpets we're standing on right now. One is black, one is gray. They do great for sound absorption, I'll say that. This is another echo chamber. If you walk in here without the carpets in here, it's pretty bad. But we have much bigger lights, so we can use a lot of natural light if we want, or we'll bring that down and we have huge diffusion that we can put in front of it and deal with less variance, the clouds moving in and out. We can control that better. We have the SkyPanel S60 again, my personal favorite. This is the black edition. Same exact light, it's just matte black. So,
obviously.
We have a bunch of C-stands, a bunch of foam, a bunch of moving blanket type things, because again, when we shoot over here, we want to dampen sound a little more. You can probably already tell when I walked over here, it starts echoing more. Like you can kind of hear that.
No carpet.
Yeah, no carpet over here. So we bring the moving blankets over and we'll put them behind the mic and we'll sort of build the sound stage so it doesn't sound so weird. Ladder, like these are the types of things you need when you're building sets specifically to look a certain way. Lots of gaff tape, lots of making things sort of jerry-rigging them, if you will. But that's what happens in Studio C. So it's basically, if I just tour you around, it's looking like a bunch of props. This you might recognize if I sit here from the Galaxy S10 review. We have those lights on behind me. Like I told you about this light here for that beautiful side light coming in. We don't use the windows, so this coming in is the light. We had the lights hanging down. They were taped to the back of that cement. Had the art pieces up here. We had these guys fighting for their lives in the corner. You might not even notice that stuff, but that's what we do. So I sit here, I talk to the camera on the carpet, and that's your pretty good looking and sounding A-roll for this video. So that's Studio C. It's different from Studio A because we need the extra room. We have a wall painted gray to beam some colored light at that if we do that kind of thing. We have a wall painted white. We have all this sort of anchored off area on the side for more props, and that's just kind of what this space is about.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's video. Marques, thank you for having me. It's been crazy watching this place evolve. I'll link in the description. This is Studio Tour 5.0. Yep. I first came here in April of 2016, so we're coming up on 3 years, and this space has evolved tremendously. It's kind of epic to like, we were just scrolling back on my phone and just like watching the evolution.
It's crazy.
It's really cool. And then obviously the additions of B and C were really cool to see. So if you like what you saw, my name is Sam Sheffer. I make videos about tech right here on YouTube. So subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. And of course, if
you want to see other videos that were shot in this space that you just toured, if you're to subscribe.
I would say there's a high percentage chance that if they're watching this video, they're already subscribed to YouTube. But if not, definitely give Marques a subscription and stay tuned for more videos from both of us. Thank you for watching.
Peace.